Hey there, adventurers. I'm Rolf. Welcome to my role-playing game Realm, and to session 27 of my Powers and Perils solo play. When last we left our 4 intrepid adventurers, actually I guess we're 5 now, we just finished wrapping up the temple and the various activities afterwards, like informing the Lizardmen tribe of the defeat of their Katothi Shaman that was trying to take over their clan. And at that time, Salzar, the lizardman that we had rescued, had declared a life debt to the team and has joined the party. And as I mentioned last time, I think that 5 characters in the parties might be a little bit too much to handle at this point. I may split them off and send them on separate tasks or things like that. But we'll see how that goes. I'm going to keep to the core 2 that I started with, which is Gildor and Raffin. I like the addition of Marizan to that team. So we'll see what happens with Kina and Salzar, and a bit of foreshadowing. There's actually a dwarf that I've made up that may join the party at some future date as well. We'll see how that gets integrated into the team here. So, anyways, they had set up a camp fairly close to the temple where Gildor was recovering from being, I think he was knocked unconscious from an abysmal failure on one of his casts. Kina had done some healing on the team. They will end up spending the night there. And you know what? I'm going to say that there's no encounter for that night based on the fact that they're close to Crystal Shores, the town site, and that there's a lizard clan or lizardmen group that's camped not too far away as well. That things are going to be quiet that night. So we'll get into the next day, and we'll start off with our daily steps here, so I don't forget. So we do our skill gains from the previous days. So actually, because we've got a new character joining, I'm going to add in the 4 horsemanship, 2 survival, 2 force survival, 3 plane survival, and the 4 carrying to our characters here. They actually would have had probably another plane survival from the previous day and a carrying from that previous day. So it's actually going to be 5 and 4. And I'll do that off camera here. And let's roll for what the weather is. Using our handy dandy X flowers for the weather. We had a cloudy day with no wind previously. Let's see where we go here. And we are in July. And a 7 is going to take us straight down. So we have a line there so it doesn't change. So we stay on a cloudy day with no wind. Put that in here. No wind. See writing. Food points used. Everybody gets to knock off various and sundry food points. So let's see. Gilder uses 0.5. Raffin uses 4. Erzan 3. Eno 1. Salzar 4. Finn 3. And Ellen 2. And our horses are using 5, but our horses are they're doing grazing as well, so we're just using 13. And we'll go with that. Right. Weather, we did mana regen. Okay, this should be a little bit more interesting. So mana regen, we have 36 used on Gildor. He gets 7 back. And his managed storage device gets 5 back. Kina gets 4 back. And her device gets 3 back. Let's see. Gildor is down 9 energy level. Just pop over to the book here for a second. You restore energy level, you have to roll under your constitution score and subtract your mana level from the roll. Then you get a die 6 plus your constitution bonus energy points back. This section right here. So, Gildor's constitution is 39, and he has a mana level 15, so he's subtracting 15 from his roll. Let's bring the dice tray back up, and let's see what he does. He is got a constitution of 39 and subtracting 15. That is going to be a success. So he is getting a die 6 plus constitution bonus. Energy level back. 6 and constitution bonus of 2, so he's getting 8 back. Just down 1. Cool. Alright, what is next? Managing energy level, natural healing. So, let's see, let's flip back to Andy's Grounds here. I don't need the PDF at the moment. And healing. So, from the previous day, they had Raffen, Mirzan, and Kina all had healing spells cast on them at EL1. That EL1 healing gives them a plus 10% bonus to their healing chance, but not a high enough level healing spell to give them a bonus to the constitution bonus. So, Raffen has a 60% chance, and he does not heal that day, or that morning. Mirzan has a 78% chance. She does. She's getting a D3 plus her con bonus. It's going to be 3 and 4, 7, so she's back to full. Kina has a 45% chance. And she heals, and she only is down 1, so she will heal that 1. Right, now what to do with Raffen. So Salzar insists on trying to heal Raffen. So Salzar will, as a shaman, he needs to do his Orient Self spell first. And he has an EL1 in Orient Self, but he has the language, the Tona language. He has 60 in, so he's actually going to use. Need to use the Tona? He doesn't. Not really going to benefit him at all in this case. So he's just going to do the Orient Self. And that spell is a little bit different than the other spells. Let me flip back to the PDF. Let's get rid of the dice tray. And Orient Self. So the Orient Self spell is what the shaman need to cast before they can use any of their magic or any of their spells. Okay, Orient Self. Success with this spell is required before shaman can cast any other shamanic magic. For this spell only, the shaman may subtract his MEL times 2 from the roll in addition to the EL modifier for the highest EL he knows in the not at the EL cast, and his MDV. So trance creates last okay, and basically with MEL1 it lasts for, let's see, he's MEL3, so 4 times 3 phases, 12 phases total. And of course, base mana costs 1. It costs him mana. And he is subtracting a total of MDV 18. And EL 1, so he's subtracting 2, so 12. And his MEL 3, so, or sorry, 20. So subtracting 23 from his roll. And he needs to roll 44 or less. And that's going to be success. So he is oriented for the next 12 phases. He will then cast a healing on Raffin. So Raffin has an MDV of 3, so he's subtracting 3 from the roll, so total minus 5. So minus 5 on the 3 line. 5, that's going to be a fail. 1 partial or 1 expertise point for the being within 25% of the success. Tries again. 6, that's a success. So he is healing Raffin. He dies 6 plus Raffin's Constitution bonus, which is 3. And he gets 7 back. Okay, so that is going to cost Salazar. Let's see. Orient Self at EL 1 is going to cost him 3 points. And the healing spells, the 2 attempts there is going to be 1 each, so a total of 5 mana. And he will actually he'll use 3 mana here. Okay. What else? Any other spell casting? He will do actually a couple more things here. Since we don't have a track of when he used his knowledge spell, he is actually going to cast his knowledge. So he needs to do a purification elder. Purification, he's got at EL 1. And base mana costs 2. This is going to cost him 4. And he's not casting this on himself, he's casting it on an area, so he's not subtracting his MDV. And he has so he's subtracting 2 from his roll. 2, 0, so he succeeds. So he's purified the area, and then he casts his knowledge spell. Got EL 1. Actually, he can use his language on that, or his Tona language, so 60%. 42 succeeds. So he's casting at EL 2. EL 2, base mana cost 5. It's going to cost him 9 points. Less 20% for his language, so it'll be 8 points. He is subtracting 4 from his roll. He's casting this on himself, so he's also subtracting his MDV. And his MDV happens to be 18, so it's minus 22 to his roll. And that's going to be a success as well. So he has used, he'll actually leverage his mana storage device for both of those. Cost him 2. What was that? 8 for the knowledge, and purification was EL. Going to cost 2. That cost 2 to deal 1. Oh, and that actually, the purification would have also subtracted an additional 2%, I believe. 4. Excellent. And he will use his knowledge on learning a new spell, I believe. I've really planned out his spells here at this point. You know what? Let's do something a little bit different here. He is going to learn animal powers. So it's going to be D6. D6 plus 2 for the level EL of his knowledge. 7 points. Nice. And he needs 16 to learn that because he's learning it on his own. That takes care of our spellcasting and the plans for the day. So they are going to start heading their way to Caer Keton. That's basically going to take them roughly a day to get to the waypoint here. There we go. Then roughly half a day, if that, to get down from the waypoint to the waypoint inn, basically an inn / tiny kip of a settlement, down to Caer Keton, and then they'll be dropping off that necromantic magic item that they found in the temple, and having it transported over to Lendrin's Tower. So let's get traveling here. So that morning, they head out from their camp, pass through Crystal Shores, and let the town council know that they've gotten to the bottom of what the Lizardman activities were that were going on by the old ruined temple. And after a short meeting there, they proceed to carry on down the road. About mid-morning, as they get through kind of a bit of a hilly section here, next to the hills, they catch sight of 2 rather large creatures off in the distance. Let me find my counter distance table, and we're in the hills. Kind of a hilly section anyways, but I'm going to treat it as hills. And so die 6 plus 10 inches away. We have 16 inches, so 160 feet. And what they see is basically, I think they've seen them before, 2 hill giants. Hill giants have a brownish hue and are somewhat gnarled in appearance, with an average height of over 16 feet. Well, it turns out that one of these guys is probably in the neighborhood of probably 20 feet or so. Not actually using the height calculation from the giants in the book. It's a bit extraordinary for the creature, but I pre-rolled an encounter for that day, and what I got was 2 hill giants. And when I rolled the size variation on those creatures, using the optional rules for creature variation, I rolled a double 0 and ended up with a 2 times modifier for one of them, 2 times 0.6 times. And then for the other one, I rolled a 70 something, so he ended up being a 1.2 times. So you'll notice that the 1 hill giant here has some pretty extraordinary characteristics. Got an OCV of 33, probably the highest one we've seen yet on any of the creatures. He's got 104 hit points, and he can go to minus 14, not falling conscious before he dies. He's got a strength of 184, so he's got a +7 strength bonus. Means on a critical hit, he's going to be doing 8 die 10. So let's hope that he doesn't crit anybody. Fortunately, we have a bit of a distance between us and the creature, or creatures. Let me just quickly get that set up, and we'll be right back. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. It took a few minutes to find a half-decent map anyways. I'm going to assume that to the left-hand side is the north, where the giants are here, to the south. And they're basically 135 feet apart, something like that. A little bit shorter than what I'd rolled, but just works out for how the size of the map. You might notice some funny lines underneath, but I've overlaid the hex grid on this map. So we'll be going with hexes as usual. And let's see what else. I think that's it. So our characters, upon seeing the giants off in the distance, have dismounted from their horses. They've left the horses with the two cavalry horsemen, whatever, that are traveling with the group. Salazar was actually riding one of the horses, not proficient with it, so it was basically he was riding and being led. He is proficient with riding a lizard, but he didn't bring a lizard with him. He didn't actually have his own riding lizards. Anyways, that is the setup. So we will start with phase 1. So phase 1, going through our usual phase sequence, we have mana allocation. So Salazar is actually going to start gathering mana for a Orient Self spell. And not sure exactly what he's going to actually. Well, just before he starts gathering mana for an Orient Self, does he actually have a useful spell to be using in combat here? So he has paralysis, which I think affects the strength of the target, and at EL1, I have a feeling that he's not going to be affecting these guys. And shape changing is not going to help him, and he doesn't have any other offensive spells. I think next time, after he's done with his animal powers spell family, probably going to work on something like, I don't know, Death Blast or yeah, we'll have to look. He needs an offensive spell other than Paralyze. Paralysis. So actually, he's not going to orient self. He is going to use a bow. And I think they're all going to use bows at this point. They want to try and soften up these giants before they actually get to them. So missile fire. You know the giants can throw things. The range on throwing, if we look at miscellaneous thrown items, we're talking about probably other as a rock. It's going to have a base range of 4, and you add the strength bonus to that. So this first guy with a strength of +7 is going to have a range of 11. And range of 11. These guys are, what did I say, about 130 feet, so it doesn't have an extreme range. He's on the -20 line at that range. You would probably want to wait till short range, which is 20 feet. Yeah, I think they're just going to be charging up. They have crude spears in their hands. They'll probably treat as like a +2 weapon strength bonus or something. Missile fire. Let's start with Gilder. I'll just start at the top here. Gilder is going to have a range. He's going to target the big guy. Hill Giant number 1. Going to be 140 feet with his longbow. Actually, he's going to use his magic bow. So 140 feet is going to be a long range on the -18 line. He's getting, oh, these guys being so as large as they are. The big dude here is -6 to hit. The other one is -4 to hit just because of their size. So he is subtracting EL2 for the bow, 6 for the side. And he's also got a +6% hit bonus, so -12 to his percentile roll on the -18 line. That's going to be 23, and that's a miss. Okay, Next up, we have Raffin. Raffin with his longbow, the range of, and he's shooting at the big guy as well, 130 feet. That's going to be medium range, so the 0 line. So he's got -5 for the longbow, -6 for it being large, so -11. And what did I say on the 0 line? -11 on the 0 line. Can be a 15, which is going to be a regular hit. That is going to do a dice 6 plus 1. 6 points. And this guy has a natural armor value. I didn't write down the natural armor value. I have a natural armor value of 2. Which means only 4 points get through. 4. Often with. Okay, that was Raffin. Next up, go to Marizan. Marizan's going to be 130 feet as well. She's using longbow. 0 line, she has a longbow skill of 7, so -13 to her roll on the 0 line. That's probably just going to be a hit. Yep, a hit, no shield for these guys. Give a giant shield someday and see what happens. And she does D6 plus 1, 5 points. 3 of that get through. We're on a space at this rate. Okay, let's see. Nina, you have a composite bow, which is actually pretty decent. Composite bow, however you want to pronunciate that. So she is at 135 feet, so 140, and that is going to be long exactly, so -14 line. She's got a 0, so she's only subtracting 6 from her roll. 31 on the -14 line is probably going to be a miss. 31, yep, that's a miss. Oh, yeah, 31. And last but not least, we have Salzar using longbow as well. He's going to be on the 0 line. The other guys with longbows. He's got a longbow skill of 4, so he's subtracting 10 from his roll. And that was almost decent. 48. The 0 line is going to be a hit. And he's doing a D6 plus 1. So 3 points. Roll 1 gets through. Now the cool thing here, I guess the interesting thing here is this first guy has a combat difficulty factor of 12. Which means even with that 1 point of damage, that's 24 expertise in the weapon skill. All right, and then we get into movement and melee. So all of our guys fired off bows, so they're not moving this round. Being phase 1, these guys are moving 3 and 3, so that's 30 feet. We'll move to there. And this guy there. And then we get into melee, which there isn't any. You know what? Both these guys are carrying their rocks. A rock in one hand, spear in the other, so they're ready to toss a rock and then attack with spears afterwards once they're at an appropriate range. We get into phase 2. Phase 2, mana allocation, we have none. Missile fire, of course. Go back to the top of the order here. Go to Gildor. These guys are now at 110 feet. With his bow, still going to be long range. He misses. Raffin at 100 feet. Medium range. 44 is going to be a hit, so d6 plus 1, so 6 points. 4 of which get through. Okay, and then we have Marizan with minus 13. That's going to be a hit. Again, d6 plus 1, so 5 points. Looks like a rerun of the first phase. 3 Marizan, long 89. Kina, you are with the composite bow. You are at 105, so 110 feet, which is going to be medium. Minus 3 line with a total of minus 6. 26 on the minus 3 line is probably going to be hit. 26, yep, just a regular hit. She is doing d6. So 1 point gets through, but hey, you know what? That's expertise on the bow. Kina with the and 88. Hoping for one decent hit here. Okay, Salzar. 110 feet. So we're still medium range. You are minus 10 to your roll. 35 is going to be a hit. Plus 1, 5 points. 3 of which gets through. If that Hill Giant actually happens to make it to them, that could be interesting what he does. And we are back to the Giants' movement. So phase 2, they are, number 1 is moving 20 feet. And number 2 is moving 30 feet. So let's see. Guy is looking at 75 feet, which is basically a range of 80. What does that do for his thrown weapon? He has a range of 90. Very great. 9. Long range, minus 20 line. Yeah. This guy. Velocity, kill target. 1 to 3, he's targeting Raffin, and 4 to 6, Marizan. That's 80 feet. He was at 110, I think, range. Still long for him too. Okay, so they've moved. We are on to phase 3. No mana allocation. We have missile fire as usual. Gildor with a -12. Ooh. That is going to be a deadly hit. And on a deadly, he is doing 2d6 or 2d10 plus 6. Color dice. Going to be 6, 12 points, so 10 get through. And Gildor with his 5. All got experience with the expertise with their ranged weapons now. Raffen with a -11. 40 on the '80. Still a medium exactly. Going to be hit. +1. 5, so 3 get through. Mirazan with her -15. Ooh, deadly. He is doing 2d10 plus 8. 10 points, 18 points, so 16 get through. So what is that? That's going to be 60, 50... And don't forget, goes to -14, so he's actually got 70 hit points left. All right. Mirazan with a nice deadly hit. Kina. What is your range now, Kina? You at 85, so 90 feet. With the composite bow is going to be medium on the -3 line. With -6 to her roll. 40, that's -3 line at 42. -3 line, 42 is going to be a hit. Field hit, so that's a hit. And she's doing 6. 1 point of damage gets through. All right. And last but not least, we have Balzar with -10. On the 90 is going to be on medium range still. Ooh, almost a deadly, or severe at least. But 69 is going to be a... All right. Movement side of things. Yeah, they're not throwing the rocks. They are going to move. So phase 3. One guy's moving 2, and the other one's moving 3. This guy at 20 feet, he'll go to there. And this guy at 30 feet, go to there. Yep. I have a feeling at 50 feet he might throw his rock next time. We'll see how that goes. All right, that's the end of the phase 3. So phase 4. What are these? What are our guys doing? They will spend one more round shooting at least before Mirazan and Raffen are likely to charge up with their weapons drawn. So starting with Gildor. Are you going to shoot at 70 feet or shoot at... Yeah, I think they see this guy as the biggest threat because he is so hulking huge, almost double the size of the other guy. So at 70 feet, Gildor is now on medium range -6 with -6, 12. Actually, it's -14 to his. Yikes. Misses. Raffin. You are shooting at 60 feet, which is short range on the +8 line, with -11. It's just going to be a regular hit. +1, 3 points. 1 point gets through. It's 1. And put that 54 up here. Okay, Marizan at 8 with the longbow, of course, on the +8 line with -13 to our roll. Or +8 line, so that's going to be a hit anyways. D6 +1. 7 points. 5 get through. I have a feeling he's going to get at least 1 hit on these. Kina. You're at 70 feet essentially with the composite bow. You're at medium, -3 line. With -6. Miss. And Selzar with the longbow. 70 feet, which is just exactly short range, +8. Oh, that's going to be a miss. And before I move my giants here, do they want to throw their rocks? Question. All right, the first guy had 110 range, and he is now at 60 feet essentially, which is medium. For other thrown weapon, medium range is a -14 line. No. And the other guy's going to be worse. And this is phase 4, so he is moving 20 and 20. 20. Round 2. Phase 1. I think it's time for our 2 front guys to switch over to melee weapons. They are going to be moving and attacking. Ina and the other 2 guys here are going to spend 1 more round shooting. So let's start with Gildor as usual. Gildor, you are at 50 feet with the longbow. One of the things I actually didn't do with the magic bow is the magic can also affect the range factors. Actually forgot to do that for his bow, so I'll probably add a 3rd line in here with the modified ranges for his magic longbow or magic bow. But anyways, for now, we'll just say he's at 50 feet, and that's going to be short range on the +4 line with a -6, 8, and 6, so 14. 20, so 6 on the +4 line. 6 on the +4 line is going to be a severe hit. And the severe is going to do a D10 +4. So 14, 10 points of damage. And go there with the 39. All right. Gildor Raffin is not shooting. Marizan is not shooting. Ina is at 50 feet essentially. Short range +7. She's subtracting 6. That's going to be a miss. And last but not least, Salazar who is shooting at 50 feet, is in the short range still with a -10. Missed. Oh, that's not good. I was hoping to take a few more points off him before our fellows here engaged. All right. Now we get into movement melee. So the characters that move first. Okay, movement order. In each phase, the creature with the highest phase movement rate will move first. If a tie exists, characters will always move before non-characters. Okay. So phase 1. I think they're going to split up and cause the giants to also split up. No, actually, they're going to engage this smaller guy and hopefully do some damage to him before the other guy can quite get to Raffen. So they'll do a bit of a shuffle. And this guy will move up. Raffen will basically head there. Raffen is targeting this guy now. He is targeting this guy. He is going to move his 30 feet. Force him just outside of range. And Raffen will have to go engage him in the next round. Or else to keep him from coming in and attacking the rest of these guys. So, the Giants with an OCD of 33, I'm pretty sure are going to go not an option. 17. So they have a attack party of 2. The only thing faster than that is a thrown weapon thrown in melee. Our two folks here, Marizan and Gildor, have a attack party of with axe of 4, and with her magic broadsword of, actually no, she's using the mace. Attack party of 6, because it really doesn't matter since the giants are going first, and well, it gives her an opportunity to get some experience with the mace if she actually hits. So they are attacking number 2. Actually, so these guys this guy gets to go first, and he was targeting Marizan. Wait. So his OCV is 21. Marizan's DCV is 11, so he's on the +10 line. He is adding 5 to his roll. He is not going to fight defensively against this guy. There's just 5 in the shield, so +7. And we are subtracting, so we're adding 5 total to our. I'm gonna. These guys have giant spear, weapon strength bonus, plus. I'm gonna call it +3. Here, weapon strength 3, and oh right, EL. I'm gonna say they have an actual skill with the spears at EL 4. This guy's gonna be bigger, stronger, tougher, and meaner. Okay, so he is, what did I say, adding 7 and subtracting 4, so he's adding 3 to his roll on the +10 line. I think she probably should have fought defensively. Adding 3 to the roll, so actually, well, the good news is he can't do a deadly hit. So 37 can be 40. That is a hit exactly. So he is doing a d6 plus 8. Ouch. 13 points to Marizan. And being reduced by 3, so 10 points. Okay, so let's 10 points here. And now our two characters can swing with dude here, Graffin. DCV 3, OCV 11, so he's on the +8 line. He is subtracting 6, 8. Yeah, so he's subtracting 8, plus the 2 of them attacking, so 5 more. So -13 to his roll. 54, that's just going to be a shield hit, which is just going to be a hit. D6 plus 6. Ooh, 12. So 10 points gets through. And Raffin with his... Right, Marizan. Throw him how... He is OCV 11, DCV 3, so on the +8 line. He is subtracting 5, 10, subtracting 10 from a roll. Ooh, 0, 7. That is going to be a -3. That's got a deadly hit. That's going to be nice. 3d10 plus 3. Not so great. So what is that? 14, 15, so 13 points get through. That leaves him with 16, a total of 30 still. Oh, shit, I'm doing it on the wrong guy. -10. 53. -13 with the mace. 40. This guy has 39 hit points left. Bugger. Alright. That is the end of phase 1 of round 2. Now the big choice is, do these guys want to get some spells off? Gildor is at 20 feet to the big guy. He will see if he wants to do. Does he do Old Faithful? Smokeless Flame. I think he's going to... He's going to shoot his bow again at the big guy, and do a spell next round on the other one. So let's... so he's not gathering mana. Ina, I don't believe, is going to gather mana. Actually, let's just keep this simple here. This round they're going to be shooting their bows before they over, so he's probably at well, hey, I guess 20 feet. With that bow point blank, plus 11, minus 14 to his roll. So that's going to be 16 on the plus 11 paper. 14 on the plus 11 line is going to be a severe hit. And on a severe is doing D10 plus 4. 8. 6 points get through. 33. Builder with the bow. Kina, who's point blank range with the opposite bow on the plus 14 line with a minus 6. Going to be a hit. best 6, which bounces. And Salzar with his longbow. Course, -10. Wow. Oh, so sorry, that's going to be, that was like 70 something on the +12 line. Oh. You know what? That's probably a hit. Exactly what I rolled? Yeah, hit. 6 plus 1. 5 points. Oh, yeah, 5 points, so 3 points get through. All right, that's it for missile fire. So now melee and movement. He will shift there. Guy will move in to attack Raffen. Let's start with the big guy. Raffen is fighting defensively, so all of his weapon skill is going into protecting his butt, because this guy is going to be on the +22 line, which means he's on the +20 line with an additional -2 to his roll. And Raffen is adding 3, 5, 7. Raffen's going to be switching weapons next round, assuming this guy's still standing. He'll probably drop his axe and, you know what? No, actually, I guess he hasn't attacked yet this round. So he's actually dropped his axe, drawn his bastard sword, and he's blocking with his bastard sword. So he's adding 8 and 13 to the roll. And this guy's subtracting 5. So he's adding 8 to the roll on the +22. Adding 8 and subtract, so it's actually on the 20 line with a +6. 25, 31. That is going to be a hit. Still going to hurt. So it's going to be d6 plus 10. Ooh, 11 points. Is making Raffen happy. Regular hit on his plate armor is 1 point. His plate blocks 4 of the 10. No, that's not right. Did I say 7, 10, 11 points? 11 points, blocks 4, so 7 get through. Often takes 7. Whatever he got healed this morning just got removed. That -15. Okay, and now the other one swings at. Where is that? And he was on the 21 +10 line. 74 on the +10 line. Some bonuses or some pluses to his roll. Going to be a miss. And now our 2 little dudes here swing. So Raffen is only adding nothing to his roll. Actually, only adding 4% or +4 to his roll. Or sorry, -4 to his roll, because he used all of his skill on defense. So -4 on the DCV. He's on the +10 line, DCV -1. Ooh, so 11. 11 on the +10 line is going to be a severe. And on a severe, he is doing a D10 plus. So 15 points. 13 get through. Get through. Can be 15. And Marizan. And Marizan is on the 8 line. He is subtracting 8, just 8 from the roll. Fighting defensively. He wasn't. Roll. Oh, deadly. Yep, deadly. So 3d10 plus 12. Let's see. 7, 12, 20, 32 points of damage. That is going to damage the sword. 32 points. 30 of it gets through. It has 10 and 9 left, so 15. That's a good solid hit. That giant screams out in pain and looks a little bit ticked at Marizan. Okay, back to the top of the round. Okay, I think our dudes have to try some magic. So, starting with Gildor. He wants to get a spell off in one phase. I think. So, and he's going to go with his trusty Smokeless Flame. Now, where he can play around a bit, got a decent skill in it. He will use his language. His language is Tongue of the Giant. 60% chance of success with the language. 6 will do it. His language works. Okay, that gives him a little bit more flexibility. He's got an effective level of 5 in Smokeless Flame. And it has base mana cost 4. Base mana cost 4, deal 5. So he is MEL. Level is he? He is MEL 6. Base mana cost 5, or sorry, expertise level 5. The other 5 per phase. With a 20% discount, he can cast it at heal 4 in 2 phases. Yeah. He's gathering 6. Cast heal 1 right away. Yeah, so I think he's just, and that's only going to cost him 5 mana. He's casting it at heal 1. It's going to cost him 5 mana. He will use it out of the mana storage device. 5. Basically, covered on that thing this morning. Okay, so he's effective EL 10, or sorry, EL 5. Means he's subtracting 10 from his roll. MDV 16, so he's adding 6 to his percentile roll on the 6 line. Adding 6. 7, that's going to be 13. That's a success. So EL 1 Smokeless Flame is going to do know this by now, as I've said many times. Smokeless Flame, going to be 3d10 plus 4. Not so great. So 15, 19, and no armor blocks that. So he is now builder. And that is going to put him at -2. Got 12 more hit points left. That's huge. Going to be nice for experience and. Okay, Kina. Kina, you are going to let me double check her spells. I'll be right back. After some careful consideration, we're shooting. Kina's going to shoot and Salazar is going to shoot. So, Kina, you are at point blank with the compass bow. Plus 14 line with minus. He's still shooting the big guy. -6. 40 is going to be a hit. D6. 1 point gets through. 6. And Salazar, maybe you can finish this sucker off before he gets another swing at Raffin. Oh, you are point blank. Plus 12 line with -10 to your roll. 79. How could you? Basically handed some 3 hit points here. Okay, melee. Here's where things get nasty again. Alright, Raffin, you are, again, fighting defensively for your life. So, if I remember correctly, you are adding... subtracting 7, you're adding 5, 6 to his roll on the plus 20 line, 30, 40, 44. Going to be a regular hit, which is going to be D10 plus 10, or a D10 plus 10. Plus 10. So 12 points. 8 get through. Armor takes another 1. And he takes another 8. Not too happy about that. And against Marizan, it is on the plus 10 line. 27, adding 7, not fighting defensively, plus 4, adding 3, so 30 on the plus 30 on the hit. It would be D6 plus 8. Ouch. 14. Another point of damage to armor. 11 points get through. Over half still, that's good. And now our characters here swing. So, Raffin, you are only subtracting 4 from your roll. 31 on the plus 8 line is just going to be a regular hit. With that sword is going to be D6 plus 5. 5 points get through. Oh, you're kidding me. And he has 3 hit points left. Alright, Marzan, you have minus a whole bunch. Double check what that actually goes out to. Minus 5. Oops. Oh, she's using my base 5. 20, 26. 26 on the +8 line. Hit the 5. 10 points, 8 get through. Left there with 9, so 11 left. We're on to the next phase. Gildor is going to shoot his bow, big guy again. Hopes to drop him before the melee starts. I can go after the other thing. So so Gildor shooting the big guy. The other two are shooting the other one, smaller one. So let's hope that Gildor can do at least a couple of points of damage. Yeah, you know what? Just be safe. Kina is shooting the big guy too. Salzar is going to shoot the other one. So, Gildor, you are on the +11 line, and you are going to do a regular hit for d6 +1. Roll high. 1 point gets through, which is not enough. He is minus 12. 2 hit points left. Good thing Kina's shooting at it. Kina, with your minus 6. On the whole bunch line, that's going to hit. He is doing just a d6. Oh, and it bounces. Oh my god. Salzar, shoot at the other gun. The big guy. Oh well. Salzar, you're shooting at the smaller of the two. +12 line. 5. With a minus, what did I say? Minus 4 to hit, so that's going to be a 1. His longbow's so minus something, so that's going to be a deadly hit with the longbow. 2d10 +5. 12 points, so 10 points get through. Longbow. 8, he has 1 hit point left. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Oh, big guy number 1. Swinging at Raffin. With 57 is going to be actually going to be a shield hit. He's adding 5 to his roll, something like that. Yeah, so it's a shield hit. But doing a d6 +10 damage. 11 points. Raffin shield. He has a DR of 13, so it takes 1 point of damage and blocks the damage. And dude swinging at Marzan with his final breaths. Actually, I guess they're both at their final breaths. Each of them have 1 and 2 hit points. So Marzan, 61 on the +10 line is going to be just fighting normally, so going to be a regular hit, a shield hit. And it is doing d6 plus 8. 8, 3, 8, yeah. So d6, 13 points. Oh, she's got the metal one, so that's only a point of damage. Block 20 before breaking. And they swing back. So, Raffen. Finish this guy off, Raffen. You are subtracting 4. And you are on the plus 10 line. Subtracting 4, that's going to be 67. It's a shield hit, which is a hit. You can't help but kill this guy. And d6 plus 3. Yep. You... plus 3, 9 points. 7 get through. Only has 2 hit points left. 2 for Raffen. And that's a minus. So this guy is finally dead. Marizan. You are on the 81 on the plus 8 line. You are subtracting 5. 76. Miss. Can't believe it. Alright, well, somebody else is going to kill it with an arrow, I guess. Alright, next phase. Or if I missed not marking down a phase, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Let's start with Gildor. Gildor. Going to be a hit. It does more than 1 point of damage. So minus 9. And he's dead. So, do these guys have any personal treasure on them? Look up Forest Giant. Or a Hill Giant, I mean. Nope, they do not have personal treasure. So that is the battle. So they are. I'm not going to tally up all the experience and everything at this point. I'll update in the next episode with what they actually got out of this. But that was the one encounter that they have as on their way back. That was the first day out. So they make it to the Waypoint Inn. They spend the night there, hang out for their inn rooms and stable and whatnot. And then we get into the next... Oh, actually, before we do that, I suppose there's probably some healing is in order. Raffen already had a heal this morning, so he's not going to accept one. We will let Salzar do the healing again. Gives him healing on purpose and gives him an opportunity to get some more. So we're doing a healing spell on Marizan. Salzar. No, actually, you know what? We are going to let Ina do it. Ina's going to do a healing. Because that can actually heal up more. Healing mist. She has heal 0. Means she has to touch the creature that she's healing. And let me find right up on it. Mist powers. Okay, the caster generates a greenish mist that surrounds the specific individual until the desired effect is achieved. The mist may be used to heal damage, replace lost energy, or negate poison. Oh, I should do that on Gildor. The person affected is comatose and immobile while the mist works. For damage and energy replacement, the mist replaces a set number of points each turn. When the target is completely recovered, the mist dissipates. Base mana costs 3, range EL 0 is touch. Points is EL divided by 3 plus 1 per round. 1 point per round. So that is going to take 21 rounds. That's a long time that they're just sitting there. Which is why you can't use this in a battle. So, Marizan wants this to work on her, so she is tracking her MDV of 6. And Ina is MEO 3, tracking 6. 1, -5. It works. 21 minutes later,
we have no. No.
And you know what? For shits and giggles, she's going to do it to Gildor so he can get his energy level back. Gildor wants it to work, so he's subtracting 17. 77, that's going to be 60. That's a fail. And that's going to work the second time. So times 2 points. Just it. Gildor. Kind of makes me wonder why I didn't just use the healing mist on Raffen in the morning instead of the healing spell. But I guess I wanted Salzar to experience out of this too. So he is full and does his. Oh, he only had down one. Oh, of one phase or one round. So we spend the night at the inn. We go on to July the 18th. So the previous day, they would have got one for horse, one for plains. They traveled through the forest partly, so I'll give them one there too. Of course, they're carrying, which is basically packing things properly. And let's do our weather, especially food points used. For Salzar. So the 18th is done, 18th. And 18th, we have six roll. 6 makes us go down again, so we're stuck on a cloudy day, no wind. And we got our weather, food points, goes off on the sheet later. I find it here somewhere. Mana regen, definitely want to do that. There we go. Minus 13 more. And mana regens. We have 7. You know, get up later. Natural healing. We'll roll for natural healing on this dude. 50% chance. 0-0. That's not good. He is infected. So let's find out what that does. Okay, If a character's healing chance roll after all modifications is 9 to 1 or higher, he is infected. He will remain infected until he succeeds in healing again. The result of infection is, per day, starting immediately, the infection will score D3 hits on the character. Realize we're going to do healing mist right away here, so it takes 1 point. While infected, the character's healing chance is reduced by 50% round up, which means it's 25%. And if the infection scores 10 or more hit points on a character, the character is delirious. Doesn't. And normal damage tolerance rules apply while infected. When the player heals, the successful healing serves only to check the infection. It will not cure damage. So that's if he's not getting any magical healing help, but we'll let Tina do her healing mist again. That's going to take a while. So he does want it to work. He's subtracting his MDV of 3. And that's going to work. So Tina has another healing under her belt, another healing mist under her belt. Make this 4 times and 3 times. Cool beans. All right. So let's get back to our map here. That morning, oh right, and so it's still cloudy, no wind, kind of stuck on that weather at the moment. Casting spells we've done for the day. That day they're going to head for Caer Keton. They will be there probably by late morning, midday, something like that. Actually grab the token. Cooperate. There we go. So they will make their way towards Caer Keton. 48 is no encounters. And they make it into Caer Keton midday. They will head up to the castle, where they will meet with probably Eric the Red, and make arrangements to send the Necromancer magic whistle item back to Lenderon's tower for it to be taken care of appropriately, as it is a filthy, or sorry, a chaos-aligned magic item. And I think that's probably where we're going to stop it for the day. So hopefully, as usual, you find this the rules to Powers and Perils interesting. Realizing that flipping around between 5 characters here is a bit of a pain in the butt for me, so I'm definitely going to figure out what I want to do with the characters here now that they're at Caer Keton. Ina and Salzar, or some combination of characters anyways, will likely split off and go on some separate adventures or separate tasks. I will decide whether I want to keep them on this as part of the group or not, and whether I'll be showing what the 2 different groups are going in sessions, or focus on the main characters here and just give an update on what the others may have gotten into. So anyways, thanks again for joining me, everyone. As usual, like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon thingy, and we will see you next time. Cheers.